John D. Rockefeller built an empire from the ground up, a structure so vast that it reshaped the very landscape of American industry. Today, we're not just reading a letter, we're examining the foundational stone, the very first brick laid in John D. Rockefeller's monumental enterprise. We're delving into letter 1 of his series of correspondences to his son, John D. Rockefeller Jr., a document that offers an unprecedented window into the mind of a man who defined an era. John Davison Rockefeller Sr., born in 1839, was far more than just a name on a ledger. He was a multifaceted individual, embodying a wealth of contrast. Raised in rural New York, his early life was marked by both hardship and the inculcation of strict Baptist principles. His father, William Avery Rockefeller, was a traveling salesman with a dubious reputation, a factor that likely instilled in young John a deep desire for stability and control. This early exposure to financial uncertainty and his mother Eliz's strong religious influence shaped his disciplined approach to business and his eventual philanthropic endeavors. Before establishing Standard Oil, he worked as a bookkeeper, developing a meticulous understanding of finances. This early experience was crucial, and it allowed him to manage and understand the financial aspects of his companies with a precision that many of his competitors lacked. Now, these letters, are they merely paternal guidance, a father passing down life lessons, or are they a carefully constructed blueprint for business success? A roadmap for navigating the ruthless world of late 19th and early 20th century industry? The answer, as we'll discover, is a blend of both. They are a reflection of Rockefeller's deeply held convictions, his practical business acumen, and his desire to impart both to his son. It is important to note that the letters were written over a period of time, as his son was growing and entering into the family business. Letter 1, in particular, sets the tone for the entire collection. It is not about intricate financial maneuvers or complex business strategies. Instead, it focuses on the fundamental aspect that Rockefeller considered paramount, the cultivation of a strong character. This letter lays the groundwork by emphasizing the importance of discipline, diligence, and the application of sound principles to any endeavor, be it business or personal. It is a lesson in the power of sustained effort and the idea that any large goal is achievable through small, consistent steps. We will explore how these seemingly simple concepts acted as the bedrock of his extraordinary achievements and how they still hold relevance in today's complex world. Today, we're dissecting the very first piece of advice John D. Rockefeller gave to his son. Letter 1, unlike a typical business lecture, opens with a poignant image, a desire for a shared journey, a hope for perpetual companionship. But John D. Rockefeller quickly dispels this notion, stating, "God created feet for us to let us walk on our own." The statement isn't a dismissal of connection, but rather a powerful declaration of independence. He's not offering a lifelong crutch. He's preparing his son for self-sufficiency. This opening line immediately establishes a core theme, personal agency. He acknowledges that his son might not feel ready to navigate life's challenges alone. However, Rockefeller insists that the challenging and magical business world he occupies is the true starting point of your new life. This isn't just about commerce, it's about entering the arena of experience, a crucible where character is forged. The phrase magical business world indicates that Rockefeller sees more than just profit in his work. He sees opportunity and the ability to shape one's own destiny. The metaphor of the feast of life is particularly striking. It paints a picture of abundance, of opportunities waiting to be seized. Rockefeller isn't just offering a job, he's inviting his son to a banquet of experiences. He's highlighting the potential for a life rich in experience and reward. He's saying, here is the chance. How you use it is up to you. The image, how you use the knives and forks that are placed in front of you, and how you taste every dish served by the angel of destiny, is a powerful call to action. It emphasizes personal responsibility and the importance of savoring life's experiences. The angel of destiny suggests that, while opportunities may be presented, how they are handled is entirely a matter of individual choice. This image of knives and forks implies a level of sophistication and preparation. It is not enough to be at the feast. One must know how to properly partake. John D. Rockefeller then proceeded to articulate a nuanced perspective on both familial expectation and the socioeconomic realities of his time. He begins by expressing a clear, almost demanding, aspiration for his son. He anticipates not mere success but a surpassing of his own considerable achievements. The expectation wasn't a gentle suggestion, it was a firm declaration, reflective of Rockefeller's own relentless drive. He expected his son to not only inherit his legacy but to amplify it. Rockefeller then clarified his intent in keeping his son close, explaining his desire to provide an elevated starting point. He aimed to position his son to capitalize on opportunities with greater efficiency, bypassing the initial struggles common to most. This action wasn't motivated by a desire to shield his son from adversity, but rather to strategically optimize his path to success. Rockefeller understood the significant advantage conferred by inherited resources and connections, and he sought to leverage these to his son's benefit. He directly addressed the potential for entitlement or unearned gratitude, stating explicitly that there was no cause for boasting or obligation. The message was a critical lesson in perspective, aimed at grounding his son in a realistic understanding of his privileged position. He was teaching his son a strategic advantage, not a trophy for show. Rockefeller's own rise from humble beginnings, working as a bookkeeper, gave him a unique perspective on the power of initial advantages. Rockefeller then offered a candid assessment of the American social structure, a structure he himself significantly shaped. He acknowledged the nation's foundational principle of legal equality, but he differentiated this from the realities of economic and cultural disparity. The metaphor of a mountain, which he uses, serves to illustrate this point. A child born into a family of established wealth and influence occupies a significantly different starting point than one born into poverty. His statement wasn't a declaration of predetermined fate, but a pragmatic observation of existing social dynamics. The Gilded Age, in which Rockefeller lived, was a time of vast wealth disparity. This reality informed much of his view. However, he immediately counterbalanced this observation with a powerful affirmation of individual agency. He rejected the notion that starting positions dictated life outcomes, dismissing the concept of inherited success or failure. He asserted that diligent work, persistent effort, and a determined mindset were the ultimate determinants of destiny. This articulation of meritocracy, a core tenet of the American dream, was a reflection of Rockefeller's own belief in the transformative power of hard work. He had demonstrated that belief throughout his life. Rockefeller proceeds to illustrate his points with personal anecdotes and historical observations, aiming to solidify his argument about the importance of individual effort over inherited privilege. He begins by drawing a stark contrast between his son's privileged position and his own humble beginnings. He recalls his impoverished youth, emphasizing that his access to educational materials relied on the kindness of his neighbors. He further details his early professional life, where he earned a meager $5 per week as a bookkeeper. This personal narrative serves a dual purpose: to establish his credibility as a self-made man and to demonstrate the immense distance he traversed through sheer determination. He then attributes his ascension to the establishment of Standard Oil, not to fortuitous circumstances, but to unremitting efforts. He frames his success as a direct consequence of his persistence and hard work, a reward granted by what he terms the God of destiny. This phrase, in the context of his deeply held Baptist faith, reflects his belief that divine favor is earned through diligence and moral conduct. This viewpoint aligns with the Protestant work ethic, a prominent cultural influence during the Gilded Age, which emphasized the virtue of hard work and self-reliance. Rockefeller proceeds to expand his argument by asserting that while opportunities may be unevenly distributed, outcomes are not predetermined. He cites numerous historical examples of individuals who rose from impoverished backgrounds to achieve prominence in both politics and business. He notes that these individuals, despite facing initial disadvantages, ultimately triumphed through their resilience and fortitude. This narrative aligns with the popular Horatio Alger stories of the era, which celebrate the rags-to-riches archetype. Conversely, he highlights the prevalence of affluent children who squander their inherited advantages. He specifically references a study conducted in Massachusetts, which revealed that none of the offspring of 17 wealthy individuals managed to preserve their family's fortunes. This observation serves to underscore his belief that inherited wealth does not guarantee sustained success and that personal character and disciplined effort are paramount. He further illustrates this point with an anecdote, a satirical conversation overheard in a Philadelphia bar. This story, concerning a self-proclaimed self-made millionaire who dissipated a $20 million inheritance, serves as a cautionary tale. It underscores the potential for inherited wealth to breed complacency and ultimately lead to ruin. The anecdote highlights the societal perception that children from wealthy families were often incompetent. Rockefeller concludes the segment with a pointed assessment of the challenges faced by children of privilege during his era. He suggests that they were often trapped in a precarious state, unable to fully capitalize on their advantages due to a lack of personal drive or resilience. He expresses concern that many of them were destined for lives of sympathy and pity and even, metaphorically, go into hell, indicating complete and utter failure. This stark pronouncement serves to reinforce his central thesis, that genuine success is not a birthright but a product of individual effort and moral character. Rockefeller then proceeds in Letter 1 to deliver a stern warning regarding the potential for inherited wealth to undermine future generations, coupled with a detailed explanation of his personal approach to raising his children. He begins by directly challenging the assumption that familial prestige and financial prosperity automatically translate into the continued success of descendants. He concedes the initial advantages provided by wealth but firmly asserts that they do not guarantee sustained achievement. This perspective reflects a profound understanding of the challenges associated with maintaining wealth across generations, a concern prevalent among industrialists during his era. He then proceeds to articulate a critical analysis of the detrimental impact of unearned privilege. He argues that children who rely solely on their family's established success are often deprived of the necessary skills to navigate life's challenges independently. The absence of hardship, which Rockefeller considered a vital crucible for character development and resilience, leaves them ill-prepared for the complexities of the world. Conversely, he highlights that individuals from less affluent backgrounds are compelled to cultivate resourcefulness, adaptability, and innovative thinking. The exigencies of their circumstances force them to develop these essential skills, fostering a drive that proves invaluable. Rockefeller further observes that the ambition displayed by children from wealthy families often lacks the urgency and inherent drive that characterizes those who have experienced hardship. He notes their tendency to rely on external factors, such as prayer or chance, rather than proactive personal initiative. This observation reveals his profound belief in self-reliance, a core value that permeated his personal and professional life. This viewpoint is consistent with the self-help philosophies that were popular during that era. He then shares his deliberate strategy for raising his children, revealing that he intentionally concealed his considerable wealth during their formative years. He prioritized instilling values such as frugality and self-sufficiency, recognizing the potential for unearned wealth to corrupt and debilitate. He believed that money, when distributed without context or earned effort, could lead to moral decay and a diminished capacity for happiness. This approach is consistent with his own disciplined lifestyle, which was characterized by restraint and a deep-seated belief in the moral dangers of excessive indulgence. Rockefeller, with a powerful declaration of his parental philosophy, he refused to bury his children under the weight of his wealth, transforming them into dependent and incompetent individuals. He sought to provide them with the tools necessary for self-determination, empowering them to forge their paths rather than relying solely on inherited advantages. In continuation of his letter, Rockefeller articulated his personal philosophy regarding the attainment of happiness and the critical role of self-sufficiency, linking these concepts directly to the development of a strong character. He initiates the segment by asserting that authentic joy rises from the capacity to enjoy his creation. This phrase implies a profound sense of ownership and accomplishment, suggesting that genuine satisfaction stems from the process of building and contributing, rather than mere consumption. He contrasts this productive approach to life with that of individuals who only take without giving, whom he metaphorically describes as sponges, implying that such passive recipients are inherently incapable of achieving true happiness. This viewpoint highlights his belief in the reciprocal nature of fulfillment, emphasizing the significance of contributing to the world, rather than simply extracting from it. He then acknowledges the universal human aspiration for a happy and luxurious life, but swiftly challenges conventional understandings of its origins. He explicitly rejects the notion that such a life is a byproduct of wealthy blood or a superficial luxurious lifestyle. Instead, he contends that it originates from a luxurious character, specifically, the spirit of self-reliance. This distinction is pivotal, as it underscores his conviction that external circumstances are secondary to internal fortitude. He elevates character and independent spirit as the primary determinants of a fulfilling existence, demonstrating a belief that a person's inner fortitude is more valuable than any outward appearance of wealth. To further reinforce this perspective, Rockefeller encourages his son to observe noble people who have won the respect of the world and exhibit charisma wherever they go. He suggests that by studying these exemplary individuals, his son will gain a deeper understanding of the worth of independence. This emphasis on observation and emulation aligns with the didactic methods prevalent in the educational philosophies of the late 19th and early 20th centuries, which often stress the importance of learning from the conduct of virtuous figures. He is not referring to those who inherited their wealth, but those who created their own path, John D. Rockefeller conveys a mixture of paternal concern and profound faith in his son's inherent qualities in the concluding segment of his letter 1 to his son, John Jr., written on July 20, 1987. He articulates that while his son's endeavors will naturally be of interest to him, his worry is superseded by a deep-seated confidence in the young man's character. Rockefeller emphasizes that this intrinsic moral and ethical fiber possesses a value exceeding any conceivable wealth. It is this foundational strength, he believes, that will serve as the bedrock for his son's future prosperity and a life filled with purpose and achievement. Rockefeller underscores the vital importance of his son internalizing a specific belief that while one's starting point in life can undoubtedly influence the subsequent course, it does not predetermine the ultimate outcome. He elaborates on the multitude of factors that significantly impact an individual's journey through life and the complexities of the business world. These elements encompass innate abilities, personal attitude, the very character he so values, ambition, the strategies and methods employed, the wisdom gained through experience, and even the unpredictable influence of chance. He frames his son's current stage of life as the beginning of a significant undertaking, a battle of life that lies ahead. While he senses his son's desire for success in this endeavor, he cautions that the aspiration for victory is universal. True triumph, he asserts, is reserved for those individuals who exhibit resolute determination in a state of thorough preparedness to confront the inevitable challenges. In a particularly pointed statement, Rockefeller offers a stark assessment of two detrimental archetypes. He posits that individuals born into privilege who lack the internal drive and capacity for independent action ultimately prove to be unproductive members of society. Similarly, he contends that those who possess intellectual capacity and education, but remain detached and indifferent to the world around them constitute a pile of worthless garbage, signifying their lack of practical contribution. Consequently, Rockefeller urges his son to actively seek and define his path in life, to engage with the world with purpose and initiative. He concludes with a sentiment of encouragement, suggesting that divine assistance often accompanies those who pursue their goals with genuine intention and diligent effort. This reflects Rockefeller's own deeply held religious beliefs and his conviction that hard work and moral conduct are often rewarded. Despite being penned over a century ago, the foundational principles articulated in what we've analyzed as Letter 1 from John D. Rockefeller to his son resonate profoundly within the contemporary landscape of business, career development, and personal finance. While the specific industries and technologies have drastically evolved, the core tenets of character, self-reliance, diligent effort, and a realistic understanding of opportunity remain remarkably pertinent in the digital age. In today's hyper-competitive business environment, characterized by rapid technological advancement and global interconnectedness, Rockefeller's emphasis on character as the bedrock of success remains crucial. Ethical conduct, integrity, and a strong moral compass are not merely quaint notions. They are essential for building trust with customers, partners, and employees. Companies that prioritize ethical practices often cultivate stronger brand loyalty and attract top talent. The numerous corporate scandals of the 21st century serve as stark reminders of the detrimental consequences of prioritizing profit over principle, a lesson implicitly embedded in Rockefeller's focus on character as more valuable than wealth. His emphasis on self-reliance and the rejection of entitlement is equally relevant in the context of entrepreneurship. Aspiring founders today often seek quick wins and instant gratification. However, Rockefeller's insistence on forging one's own path and not solely relying on inherited advantages speaks directly to the need for grit, resourcefulness, and independent problem-solving that are hallmarks of successful startups. The bootstrap mentality, where entrepreneurs build their ventures with minimal external funding, embodies the spirit of self-reliance. Furthermore, Rockefeller's understanding that opportunities are unequal but outcomes are not predetermined offers a powerful message for contemporary business. While disparities in access to capital, networks, and education persist, the digital age has also democratized certain aspects of business. The internet provides unprecedented access to information, global markets, and tools for building a business with relatively low initial investment. The rise of countless self-made entrepreneurs who leveraged online platforms to build successful ventures exemplifies this principle. Consider the story of Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. She built her billion-dollar company with minimal initial capital, relying on her ingenuity, persistence, and a relentless drive to solve a personal problem. Her journey embodies Rockefeller's emphasis on self-reliance and the power of individual effort overcoming initial limitations. Elon Musk, while born into a relatively privileged background, Musk's relentless work ethic, his willingness to challenge conventional thinking, and his drive to build groundbreaking companies across diverse industries embody Rockefeller's emphasis on ambition, effort, and forging one's own path. His successes, and occasional setbacks, illustrate that even with a head start, sustained effort and a strong vision are crucial. In today's dynamic job market, continuous learning and skill development are paramount. Rockefeller's focus on diligent effort and the idea that initial advantages don't guarantee long-term success resonates with the need for professionals to constantly adapt and evolve their skill sets. Individuals who proactively seek new knowledge, embrace challenges, and demonstrate a strong work ethic, regardless of their initial connections or educational background, are more likely to thrive in their careers. The rise of online learning platforms has further empowered individuals to take control of their professional development, echoing Rockefeller's emphasis on self-improvement. Rockefeller's caution against the corrupting influence of unearned wealth and his advocacy for frugality remain timeless principles in personal finance. The dangers of excessive debt and the importance of building wealth through diligent saving and investment, rather than relying on windfalls, align directly with his warnings. The numerous stories of lottery winners who quickly squander their fortunes serve as a modern-day illustration of his point about the potential pitfalls of unearned wealth. The principles of financial independence movements, which emphasize diligent saving, responsible investing and self-reliance in managing one's finances, echo Rockefeller's core tenets. Rockefeller's wisdom is surprisingly applicable to navigating the complexities of the digital age. While he couldn't have conceived of the internet or social media, his emphasis on character and ethical conduct is arguably even more critical in a world where online reputations can be built and destroyed in an instant. Transparency and integrity in online interactions and business practices are paramount. His focus on self-reliance translates to the need for digital literacy and the ability to navigate the vast landscape of online information and tools. Individuals who can independently learn new technologies, adapt to evolving digital landscapes, and leverage online resources are better positioned for success in the modern economy. Furthermore, the digital age has amplified the potential for both rapid success and rapid failure, mirroring Rockefeller's observation about unequal opportunities but varied outcomes. While the internet offers unprecedented opportunities for entrepreneurship and career advancement, it also presents a highly competitive environment where only those with genuine talent, relentless effort, and strong character are likely to achieve lasting success. The countless startups that have quickly risen and fallen in the tech industry serve as a contemporary illustration of this principle. Individuals building substantial incomes and influence through platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Patreon often start with limited resources but leverage their creativity, hard work, and authentic character to build audiences and businesses. Their journeys echo Rockefeller's belief in the power of individual effort to overcome initial limitations. The ongoing discussions about data privacy, misinformation, and the social responsibility of tech giants highlight the enduring relevance of Rockefeller's emphasis on character and ethical conduct in business, even in the most innovative sectors. In conclusion, while the world has undergone a dramatic transformation since Rockefeller penned his advice, the fundamental principles he espoused in Letter 1, the primacy of character, the necessity of self-reliance and diligent effort, and a realistic understanding of opportunity, remain powerful guiding principles for navigating the complexities of modern business, career development, and personal finance in the digital age. His wisdom serves as a timeless reminder that lasting success is not solely a product of circumstance but rather a direct reflection of individual character and determined action. Do you agree with Rockefeller's assertion that character is more valuable than wealth in achieving long-term success? Can you think of examples in today's world that support or challenge this view? How do you interpret Rockefeller's emphasis on self-reliance in the context of today's interconnected and collaborative work environments? Is complete self-reliance still achievable or desirable? Reflecting on your experiences, can you identify instances where diligent effort and perseverance overcame initial disadvantages? What were the key factors that contributed to that outcome? Rockefeller highlights the potential pitfalls of inherited wealth. In what ways do you see such issues playing out in contemporary society? What strategies might wealthy families adopt to mitigate these risks for their children? Do you agree with our analysis that the digital age has created equal opportunities? What are some of the remaining barriers, and how can individuals overcome them? Rockefeller stresses the importance of enjoying your creation as a path to happiness. What does creation mean to you in your life and work? How can this principle be applied in various fields? What resonated most strongly with you from Rockefeller's advice in this letter? What is one principle you plan to actively apply to your life or career? Thank you for joining this deep dive into John D. Rockefeller's Letter 1. We'd love to hear your thoughts and insights on the principles we've discussed today. What are your answers to the reflection questions? Share your experiences and perspectives in the comments below. Let's get a conversation going. Did any particular point from Rockefeller's letter resonate with you? Tell us which one and why. If you found this analysis valuable, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps others discover this content. We'll be continuing this journey through Rockefeller's letters. In our upcoming video, we will delve into Letter 2 of John D. Rockefeller's correspondence. We'll unpack its key themes and explore how its advice continues to hold significance in our contemporary world. Stay tuned.